Welcome to my channel, Value Old Coins. Today videos is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the world of coins, so let's get it started. The 1966 Roosevelt dime, although lacking an explicit mint mark such as a D or P, is still often referred to by collectors in relation to its mint of origin. In truth, all 1966 dimes, regardless of where they were minted, bear no mint mark due to transitional minting policies in place at the time. While millions were minted at the Denver Mint, the coin does not officially carry a D designation on its face, as part of a broader historical moment in American numismatics known as the coinage crisis of the 1960s. This technicality is vital for collectors and historians alike, who understand that the 1966 Roosevelt dime represents not only a continuation of a classic coin series, but also a vivid symbol of adaptation in a changing economic era. The coin's obverse features a dignified left-facing portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. Designed by John R. Sinnock, who was chief engraver of the United States Mint, the portrait of Roosevelt replaced the beloved winged Liberty head, commonly known as the Mercury, dime, in 1946. Sinnock's initials, JS, are engraved at the base of Roosevelt's neckline. The obverse bears the inscriptions Liberty along the left rim, In God We Trust, beneath the chin, and the year of mintage, 1966, to the lower right of the bust. Although Roosevelt passed away in 1945, his impact remained deeply etched in the American consciousness, especially due to his tireless efforts to end polio, a cause symbolized by the dime through its connection to the March of Dimes campaign. The coin, in this sense, became more than currency. It became a memorial to leadership, compassion, and the resilience of the American spirit. The reverse of the 1966 Roosevelt dime showcases a timeless and balanced composition centered on a lit torch, symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. This torch is flanked by two prominent symbols, an olive branch on the left, which represents peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength, independence, and longevity. The three symbols together articulate a coherent political and social message. Peace can only be maintained through strength and guided by liberty. Arched across the top of the reverse are the words United States of America, while the denomination one dime is placed at the bottom. Nestled between the branches, directly beneath the torch, lies the national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This compact but rich design successfully conveys national ideals while maintaining clarity and elegance on a small 17.91mm diameter surface. The 1966 Roosevelt dime is particularly important in numismatic history because it was produced during a transitional and experimental phase in U.S. coinage policy. In response to a severe shortage of coins during the early 1960s, caused in part by public hoarding of silver coins as bullion prices rose, the United States Mint implemented a series of radical changes. One such change was the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from the dime and quarter denominations and introduced a new clad composition. Starting in 1965, dimes were no longer composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. Instead, they were made from a sandwich structure of copper-nickel clad, with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This new composition offered greater durability and cost-effectiveness, though many traditionalists lamented the end of silver in everyday currency. The 1966 Roosevelt dime was only the second year that this clad composition was fully adopted, making it part of an important early run of post-silver American coins. Another significant aspect of the 1966 Roosevelt dime lies in its lack of a mint mark. From 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed all mint marks from coins as part of an effort to discourage hoarding and speculative collecting during the national coin shortage. This meant that regardless of whether a coin was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it bore no mint mark at all. Thus, although many of the 1966 dimes were indeed minted at the Denver Mint, they cannot be distinguished from those made in Philadelphia or San Francisco by any identifying letter. This era of no mint marks remains a unique footnote in American coinage history, representing a time when public trust in the currency supply had to be carefully managed by the federal government. The 1966 Roosevelt dime has a standard weight of 2.27 grams, a thickness of 1.35 millimeter, and a reeded edge featuring 118 ridges. This reeded edge, a vestige from the days when coins contained precious metals, served to deter coin clipping and ensure that each coin contained the full amount of metal. Despite no longer being made of silver, the tradition was preserved for aesthetic and anti-counterfeiting purposes. The 1966 issue saw a high mintage of approximately 1.38 billion coins, reflecting the mint's attempt to saturate the economy with the new clad dimes and alleviate the ongoing coin shortage. As a result of this mass production, most 1966 Roosevelt dimes are still easily found in circulation today, often in worn condition. In the collector market, the value of a 1966 Roosevelt dime in circulated condition is generally equal to its face value, 10 cents, due to its lack of silver content and high mintage. However, specimens in uncirculated, mint state condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, can be worth a few dollars or more depending on eye appeal, luster, and strike quality. The most sought-after examples are those with the full bands, FB designation. This refers to a coin where the horizontal lines in the torch's bands are fully struck and distinct, signifying a superior level of detail that typically only results from fresh dies and a well-executed strike. While such examples are not exceedingly rare, they are considerably less common than standard mint state coins, and full bands 1966 dimes can command $25 to $100 or more, depending on grade. Numismatists also keep an eye out for varieties and mint errors in the 1966 issue. While the U.S. Mint was under pressure to produce vast quantities of coins quickly, occasional quality control issues led to interesting errors, including off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and occasional die cracks. These errors, depending on severity and eye appeal, may greatly increase a coin's value. However, no major double dies or widely known varieties have been confirmed for this date, making errors more of an occasional curiosity than a major part of the coin's collectible appeal. From a historical standpoint, the 1966 Roosevelt dime occupies a unique place in the story of American coinage. It embodies the post-silver era, when the United States was grappling with inflation, modernizing its monetary system, and trying to ensure coin availability for a growing population. Its design, unchanged since 1946, serves as a steady link to America's mid-20th century ideals and leadership. Though it lacks precious metal content or extreme rarity, the 1966 dime remains valuable in a symbolic sense, representing a compromise between tradition and practicality and a commitment to national stability during times of economic uncertainty. For collectors, the 1966 Roosevelt dime offers an accessible and affordable entry point into U.S. coinage. Whether sought out for its historical significance, its role in the coinage transition, or simply as part of a complete Roosevelt dime set, it continues to hold meaning far beyond its face value. In pockets and albums, in change jars and collector boards, the 1966 dime remains quietly present, a reminder of a nation adapting to new realities while staying rooted in enduring ideals of liberty, trust, and unity. The 1981 D Roosevelt dime, struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, is a seemingly ordinary yet historically significant piece of American coinage that belongs to the enduring Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 and continues to this day. This 10-cent coin carries a legacy rooted not only in the economic transitions of 20th century America, but also in its tribute to one of the most transformative presidents in U.S. history, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. After Roosevelt's death, in April 1945, the U.S. Mint quickly sought to honor his memory by replacing the Mercury dime with a new design bearing his likeness. This tribute was fitting due to Roosevelt's founding of the March of Dimes, an organization created to combat polio, an illness that Roosevelt himself battled. Thus, every Roosevelt dime minted, including the 1981 D specimen, functions as a 1D pocket-sized memorial to the president's courage and social leadership. The obverse of the 1981 D dime showcases a left-facing profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a design by John R. Sinek, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time of the coin's creation. Above the portrait appears the word liberty, symbolizing the foundational values of the American Republic. To the left of Roosevelt's neck, in small font, lies the national motto, "In God We Trust," affirming the nation's long-standing reliance on spiritual guidance. The date 1981 is found to the right of the portrait, just below Roosevelt's chin, and directly above the final digit of the date is the D mint mark, denoting that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the United States Mint's main production facilities. Also visible, although often small and mistaken for other markings, are the initials JS at the truncation of the neckline, representing the coin's designer, John Sinek. These initials were at one point controversially and falsely associated with Joseph Stalin during the early Cold War, but such claims have long been dismissed as myths by scholars and numismatists alike. On the reverse side of the 1981 D Roosevelt dime is an elegant trio of symbolic images. In the center stands a lit torch, representing liberty and enlightenment. Flanking the torch on either side are an olive branch, left, and an oak branch, right. The olive branch stands for peace, while the oak symbolizes strength and endurance, key, qualities that Roosevelt exemplified during his presidency. These elements are encircled by the inscriptions United States of America along the top and one dime at the bottom. The motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is placed horizontally across the lower half of the coin, affirming the unity of the American people despite their diverse origins. These classical motifs continue to resonate with collectors and historians alike, reflecting enduring ideals of strength through unity and moral leadership. The 1981 D dime was minted during a time when the United States was navigating a shifting economic and political landscape, including inflation, rising oil prices, and Cold War tensions. The coin itself, however, remained stable in its format, having transitioned years earlier, starting in 1965, from a 90% silver composition to a copper-nickel-clad structure. This cost-effective and durable format was part of a broader shift in U.S. coinage that reflected modern economic realities. The outer layers of the coin consist of a mixture of 75% copper and 25% nickel, while the core is solid copper, giving the coin a distinctive sandwich appearance when viewed from the side. It weighs approximately 2.27 grams, measures 17.91 m in diameter, and features a reeded edge with 118 serrations, a design element intended to deter coin shaving or counterfeiting in earlier eras. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint struck an estimated 650,000 Roosevelt dimes in 1981, making it a high mintage year with no significant circulation shortages. Because of this, the 1981 D dime is considered common in everyday numismatic circles, especially in lower grades, circulated condition. However, specimens in uncirculated or mint state grades, particularly those that show strong strike characteristics, minimal contact marks, and full torch details, referred to by collectors as full bands or FB designations, can command higher premiums. These full bands coins are highly sought after because they require an exceptionally well-struck reverse die, showing complete horizontal lines across the bands on the torch. Only a fraction of coins meet these strict criteria, even among those that were never circulated. From a collector's standpoint, the value of a 1981D Roosevelt dime depends heavily on condition. While typical worn examples found in circulation are worth face value, higher-end coins graded MS-65 to MS-67 by services such as PCGS or NGC can fetch prices ranging from a few dollars to over $20 in exceptional cases. Coins with the full bands. Designation may see values exceeding $50 to $100 or more, especially if preserved in flawless condition. Error coins from this year, while not widespread, do exist and include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks, all of which can be quite valuable depending on rarity and visibility. Despite its modernity and high mintage, the 1981D Roosevelt dime remains a significant numismatic artifact. It symbolizes the continuation of Roosevelt's legacy and America's evolving economic narrative in the late 20th century. Although lacking in precious metal content, its enduring circulation, elegant symbolism, and representation of American values ensure that it holds more than just monetary worth. In many ways, it serves as a bridge between past and present, a reminder of a president who faced crises with courage and a nation that continued to adapt through the decades. For beginner collectors, it offers a tangible link to history, while for seasoned numismatists, it may serve as a quest for the elusive, perfectly struck full-band specimen. In either case, the 1981D Roosevelt dime maintains its quiet dignity as an emblem of enduring leadership, unity, and liberty, captured forever in metal. The 1969D Roosevelt dime, minted by the United States Mint in Denver, is a small yet important coin bearing significant historical, economic, and numismatic value. It belongs to the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a leader whose pivotal role during the Great Depression and World War II, along with his founding of the March of Dimes to combat polio, left a lasting legacy on the American nation. The coin, struck in 1969, features a modest face value of 10 cents and carries the characteristic inscriptions, United States of America, arching around the upper rim on the reverse, E pluribus unum, out of many one, and one dime, boldly placed at the bottom center. On the obverse, the dignified portrait of Franklin Roosevelt faces left, accompanied by the motto, Liberty, to the left edge, the national motto, In God We Trust, beneath Roosevelt's chin, the date, 1969, on the right, and a small D mint mark just above the date, which signifies that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint facility. The designer, John R. Sinek, then chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, is also credited with the Roosevelt portrait design. His initials JS appear at the base of Roosevelt's neck, although they were once the subject of conspiracy theories claiming they secretly represented Joseph Stalin, a myth long debunked by numismatists. This dime is part of the clad composition era, which began in 1965 when the U.S. Mint stopped producing circulating dimes with silver due to rising silver prices and a national coin shortage. As a result, the 1969D Roosevelt dime is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This change marked a significant shift in American coinage, reflecting the broader economic transitions of the mid-20th century. The coin has a diameter of 17.91 mm, a thickness of 1.35 meters, and a total weight of 2.27 grams. The edge is reeded with 118 grooves, a traditional feature carried over from earlier coinage meant to prevent coin clipping, a fraudulent practice of shaving off precious metal from the edges. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced approximately 563,323,000 Roosevelt dimes in 1969, making it a relatively high mintage coin. As such, it is common in circulated condition and can often be found in pocket change or coin rolls today. However, coins in mint state, MS condition, especially those graded MS 65 or higher, can still command premium value among collectors, particularly if they possess strong strike quality, full torch details, known as full bands or FB, and original luster. While most 1969 D dimes are modest in market value, certain examples certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC with a full bands designation can be worth significantly more, especially in pristine condition. Errors and varieties, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or doubled dies, also add a layer of potential value and intrigue for numismatists. From a cultural and historical standpoint, the Roosevelt dime carries more than just monetary significance. It is a symbol of post-war American resilience, embodying values of unity and trust in divine providence, as echoed in the inscriptions E pluribus unum and In God We Trust. The presence of Roosevelt's image serves as a continuous reminder of leadership through adversity, especially relevant during a turbulent period marked by the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, and major shifts in domestic and international policy. In this sense, the 1969 D Roosevelt dime is a pocket-sized emblem of a nation navigating its complex journey through the 20th century. Collectors interested in this coin are often advised to seek out examples that show sharp strikes and minimal surface contact marks, as high-grade examples grow scarcer with time. The coin's historical context, the transition to base metals, and its association with a beloved American president all contribute to its enduring appeal. While it may not have the intrinsic metal value of earlier silver dimes, its numismatic importance and collectible nature remain undiminished. Today, the 1969 D Roosevelt dime is an accessible and educational piece for beginners in coin collecting, and it stands as a quiet yet powerful testament to the legacy of American coinage and leadership.